For the companies with total debt component, including non-fund based limit, if you have a BG limit, LC limit, all those things are added and the total, if it is less than 25 crores, then your account should be standard as on 1st of March 2020, or should have been standard as on the closing hours of 29th of February 2020. This, what is standard is all dues have been paid. You are not SMA 0 or 1 or 2 at the end of February 2019. SMA 0 is when you don't pay the money within 30 days. SMA 1 is when you don't pay the money within 60 days. SMA 2 is when you don't pay the money within 90 days. Beyond 90 days, you are a non-performing asset. This is the classification. So you have to be standard as on 1st of March 2020. Don't worry if you are not standard, I'll come to it a little later. This means when it comes to working capital, you can be SMA 0. There is a rationale behind it. On 29th of February, they would have debited interest in your account. The interest is always growing. You know, if I have a limit of 10 crores, my balance is always 9 crores, 90 lakhs, 99,000. So when they add an interest of about 10 lakh rupees, assuming 1% per month, which is high, but then I will cross the limit and I become a SMA 0 automatically. But I am expected to clear it off within a week's time or whatever before the end of the month. So you can be SMA 0 in case of working capital, and in case of term loans, you cannot be SMA 0 or 1. So this is what you have to make an application for restructure before 31st of December 2020, and it will have to be disposed of by the banks before 31st of March 2021. So by 2021 March, all accounts will be restructured. So the date of application is called invocation date or resolution plan invocation date or RP date. You will hear RP dates again and again as you go forward in future when you talk to your consultants and stuff like that. So in case of debt over 25 crores, also it is more or less the same. In both cases, prudential norm of June 2019 should be followed. It gives you a structure with which how to restructure and all those things. But the fundamental difference between less than 25 crores and over 25 crores is there is a relaxation with respect to over 25 crores because there was no restructuring done. When it comes to less than 25 crores, there has been a continuous window of restructuring. If you have a restructuring done in the past for a small amount, if the bank has done a working capital term loan and then taken the money from you, then you are not eligible for restructuring under this norm, that is 2020 August norms. But you are eligible under 2019 norms. I'll come to it in a moment. Restructuring of loans if you are current, and in case you are not, you are already an SMA 0 or 1 or 2. Now, one other difference is there. If you are less than 25 crores, it is sufficient if you are standard asset as on 1st of March 2020. After that, you could have become an NPA even as on date. Though it is not feasible. Read out the question. Okay, I'll attend to the question 1 minute. Yeah.
Is the DO a gap vis-a-vis the investment?
Huh?
Jayachandran GK asks, is the TO a cap vis-a-vis the investment?
TO? No, both are congruous. I mean, it is an and condition, not or. 50 crores or 250 crores. Okay. So let me go ahead with it. I'll be completing in next 10 minutes. Then we have a lot of time for discussion. Okay. I'm not going to take more than 10 or 15 minutes from this point of time. So let me go ahead and complete it. So when it is over 25 crores, it is not sufficient if your current, and if you are a standard asset as on 1st of March 2020, you have to be a current and standard asset as on the date of RP invocation. That is the day on which you are giving the resolution plan to your banker. So if there is a stress going forward paying, it is better that at least the intention has to be cleared, and then tell the banker that you want to restructure. How to go about restructuring, you can always talk to your professional and they'll be able to help you. Okay, so this is the structured process, and when you are not falling within that, I think that slide is missing. Prudential restructuring norms of June 2019 gets applicable. You can apply to any company that is SMA 0 or 1 or 2 or NPA of any date, so long as it is operational, so long as it is not taken to NCLT. If you continue to be the owner, but in that case, they may insist on a change of management sometimes, but sometimes for a smaller company, they will not. It is only for bigger companies. In the present restructuring of less than 1,500 crores and above 25 crores or less than 25 crores, as the case may be that you see in the screen, there is no need of a change in ownership. This is another reason. NCLT and IBC are not going to go away anywhere. Once COVID is over, once this year end is over, it is going to come back and somebody posts that, and resolution professional will come and start managing your company. Let's not really get there, and let us restructure now. Any company that has a loan of 1,500 crores and up, below can be restructured on this. So let's restrict our discussion. So let's say 150, 200 crores and below kind of a scenario. There are a few conditions that I wanted to tell you. Okay. First, to recapitulate, less than 25 crores, there are a few set of conditions. Over 25 crores, there are a few set of conditions. If both, in these two cases, provisioning for the bank is not much. So the bank will be much more obliged to look at you if you are a standard asset. Okay. If you are an NPA or an SMA already they would have made provisioning, and then they would have done that also. Okay. Can you read out the question? Somebody has raised the hands. Yeah.
Nishita.
Yeah.
You ask them to unmute.
Yeah. You can.
Two other people.
You can unmute it, and then you can ask me the question. Yeah. Or with your consensus, do you postpone the discussion for 10 minutes? Then I'll open it out and we can talk and discuss. Is that okay? Somebody can chat and say yes. Instead of opening, it will be a good thing. Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Raghunathan.
Hey, nothing particular. And I'll get back to you.
Okay, fine. Let me go ahead. Okay, so this is the difference between the two, And in case of June 19 prudential restructuring norms, we will have to really increase on the provision. So the bank will be little concerned in doing it, but you can make it happen because again, you have to demonstrate the skin in in the game. You should be able to part away with money. You should be able to invest, or your past track record and all those things will speak, and it is feasible. You have to have a good thing. That's all. So that's what, first clean up and then have a plan for capitalization, have a good document for restructure, submit to the bank, and you should be able to do it. You should be able to do it very well. Okay. And you can ask for a few concessions. Okay. Depending on the projections and depending on your free cash flow to the firm, properly established, subject to scrutiny. If you have a good free cash flow projection which shows negative or insufficient positive number, you can ask for a few concessions.
What is prudential restructuring norms?
Okay, prudential restructuring norms, let me just, yes, it is telling that there are a few cases where you can do the restructuring and banks were allowed to do structured restructuring of loans as they deem fit financially, provided they make some 20% and 15%, roughly over a period of 1 year, 20 to 35% of the total loan outstanding has to be made as provision by the bank. And so that's why the bankers are reluctant. They keep giving you some amount or pressurizing you, and you go to some other place to collect money and then pay the money. They have to make the provision under prudential restructuring norm. The present August 2020, the fundamental difference is the provision amount is very, very less. Hardly anything, and the banks will be more than happy to look at it if you are a standard asset. Alternatively, we have to impress upon them to take it. That is the only difference. Rest of it is, what are the things that we can ask, and that's what covers in most cases. They are open to many things. They can restructure the existing term loans, extend the period of time. If it is balance 3 years is pending, and if a company is unable to pay, they can make it 5 years, 7 years. They can give a moratorium up to a maximum of 2 years. They can give interest moratorium. After the 2 years, they can fund the interest moratorium and convert it into another term loan. I'm telling you about the extreme level of concessions. Okay, convert the excess DP into term loan and retain the excess limit as the limit itself, so that you can properly grow the business. They can take haircut in exceptional cases. That is, you can reduce your liability by 5%, 10% on the overdoing and whatever. It is difficult. I mean, they are going to straight away write off in the books, and they are not going to easily agree. But if it is an otherwise compelling proposition, otherwise it is going to go down the line if the collateral is not there. By taking 10%, if they are going to save 90% of their exposure, then the banks may be willing to look at it. But it all depends on case to case. And then convert it to equity or mezzanine forms like optionally convertible debentures, optionally convertible preference shares, and this kind of an investment also can be sought after. But they are all very big companies. Generally, they push for it, and at times they get it too. In this case, there is a problem. The moment you convert something to equity in the books of the bank, that particular equity or a mezzanine paper has to be valued at 1 rupee. It may be even 100 crores, but still you will have to value at 1 rupee and take the write-off of balance the entire 100 crores. So the banks are very reluctant to do it. Alternatively, in both the prudential norm and the current norm and prudential norm have got only two differences. The applicable company is the difference. Current norm also talks of only prudential restructuring norms of 2019. And it has a list of things that has to be followed and stuff like that. There are a few things. If there are multiple bankers involved, then within 1 month, in the present one, it is then there is a requirement where there is something called ICA, Intercreditor Agreement. All the creditors have to agree. Creditors as in bank creditors and NBFCs. They have to agree that they are looking at restructuring. And then the restructuring may fail. They may not agree to what you are saying, but they have to agree to look at the restructuring, and that is called a intercreditor agreement. That agreement has to be passed by various creditors, and the total number of creditors should be at least 2/3 of the total. Suppose you have total of 10 banks and NBFCs put together, 6 of them have to agree to it. And the total amount agreed will have to be 75%. If it doesn't happen, then restructuring doesn't pass through. So we have to meet with all the bankers and then explain. Previously, it was open-ended. In prudential norms of 2019, it was open-ended. If they don't really take up the agreement, there was no penalty involved. In the present norm, within 30 days, if they don't sign the agreement, they will have to pay 10% of the, they will have to provide 10% in the books of accounts, followed by another 10%. So if there is a merit in your application, they are going to very seriously look at it this time. So this is where the major advantage lies. So we can ask for any concession so long as we deserve it. How to make it deserve? It's quite easy. I mean, all it takes is introspection and detailed discussion with a professional. They should be able to guide you to do this.